Welcome to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Oh boy. The Epstein files is back in the news. And it is like so exhausting for me to talk about because I just feel like there is a way that you could navigate this in which you could just bungle every single aspect of it. And my God, I love this administration, but they seem to be just bungling every single aspect of this particular issue in ways that I just can't quite comprehend. And so today now we have a rehash of the Epstein files. What are the Epstein files? What constitutes an Epstein file? Is it the client list? Is it anyone that he ever worked with? Is it his court filings? What would be the Epstein files? Well, tens of thousands of documents were released by the House Oversight Committee overnight. And these records it's kind of like a smorgasbord, right? It's got flight logs, it's got court filings, it's got surveillance footage, and it's also got, speaking of bungling everything, remember, the last time they said that they were releasing, they said Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Now, don't pay attention to the fact that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino looked like they were being held hostage with a gun to their heads, talking on Fox News. Like, what are you talking about? Jeffrey Epstein did not get murdered. He definitely killed himself. I saw the footage. It was very weird, right? And so they released that security footage from his cell room. And they said, here is the security footage from that night in question. And then it was like, hold on. Some internet super sleuths were like, there's an entire minute that's missing. What the hell? Well, they also released that missing minute of the security footage from outside Jeffrey Epstein's cell the night before he died. And it, of course, there's nothing to see. There's not, there's like a little bit of, like, you can see a little bit of like walking around in the background there, or a little bit of shuffling maybe, but nothing to see. But then you're like, hold on, but how do we know this wasn't completely doctored? Because why the hell was the minute missing in the first place? I don't buy your weird excuse. It just all seems weird. Everything about this stinks. So obviously people are saying this isn't enough. We want the rest of the files. And more importantly, we don't just want a file dump. We want something to be given to us in an organized manner that says who the hell was helping traffic children, who the hell was having sex with children, who knew about it, who was in on it. I want names of every single person that was involved in that. That's what I want. And I think that that's what the rest of America wants. Is that what you want? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered, by the way. Hit the like button and let me know in the comments. Is that what, like, I don't need every single place Jeffrey Epstein flew and with whom. I don't need any single friend that he had in his Rolodex. I don't need that. I want to know who was committing crimes against children, and I want them to suffer greatly from it. And I think that that's what the majority of Americans want. Well, Democrats don't give a shit about kids. They just are dying for Donald Trump to be on the list, right? So now the Democrats are circulating this discharge petition. Well, it's mostly Democrats, a couple Republicans maybe, but they want to force this House vote to try to urge the DOJ to release the Epstein files. And it's just for show. It doesn't do anything. It's just like a strongly worded letter to the manager. But with this petition that they want to be voted on, you have now Epstein victims that held this press conference. And they were talking about how there are a lot of powerful people. We need justice. There are a lot of people who are complicit in this. And Ghislaine Maxwell is the only person who has lived long enough to be punished, apparently. And so what where the problem becomes is that now you have a group of traumatized women, of traumatized victims and I'm not blaming them, but I'm saying now they are thinking they need to take it into their own hands. And they're saying, okay, government, if you guys don't release who did these awful things, we're just going to compile our own list and we're going to release it on our own. Watch.
Us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know who were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details.
Now, here is what I want to understand. I want to understand this so badly because I believe in President Trump. I believe in the America First agenda. I want to understand why you had a Donald Trump who, you know what, Stephen, let's go back. Okay, first, let's go back to Donald Trump before the election, because remember, this was a campaign talking point that the Epstein files should be released. So you have a Donald Trump who previously was saying things like this about the Epstein files.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. And then now you have a Donald Trump who inexplicably is calling this a Democrat hoax. And I cannot for the life of me understand the position change with just absolutely no explanation of how you got from point A to point Z. This is Donald Trump today.
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president.
I just want to know what that means. What does that mean, a Democrat hoax? Was it a Democrat hoax that Jeffrey Epstein is a convicted child sex trafficker? That Ghislaine Maxwell is a convicted child sex trafficker? Is it a Democrat hoax that he ever did anything with kids? Is it what part of this is a Democrat hoax? Are you accusing the Democrats, which he has made comments like this before, and it sounded like he was accusing Democrats of falsifying documents, of falsifying President Trump's name that was what I got from it last time. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching this and I'm thinking I need more information from you guys. I don't trust the Democrats either. And trust me when I tell you, if they're going to try to kill you several times, I fully would believe that they would go above and beyond to plant things to get someone in trouble that they didn't like. Okay? I understand where you're coming from on that, but I'm going to need more information than just this is a Democrat hoax. What does that mean exactly? I need someone to explain it to me because thus far, this administration, not President Trump himself, but the people who have been in charge, looking at you, Pam Bondi, of releasing these documents, who go on Fox News and say the documents are on my desk, ready to be released. And then all of a sudden, what documents? What are you talking about? I never said there were any documents. Gaslighting the American public as if they never invited all of these influencers to the White House under the premise of covering the first cabinet meeting. All of those influencers that you guys were shitting on when they got the Epstein file binder, all of those influencers went to the White House under the premise of attending the first cabinet meeting and getting to watch that and ask questions. That was why they attended. Pam Bondi showed up and tossed them all binders and pushed them out to the cameras. By the way, nothing was even in the binders of consequence. So how did that, why did that happen? They got slammed for that online and they didn't even ask for any of it. They just were placed in front of the cameras and told that they were just handed. They didn't ask for it. They didn't solicit it. They didn't show up for it even. And they were just told that they were given these out you go, out the door, right in front of the cameras. Be prepared to smile, everyone. I mean, it's incomprehensible how badly this has been bungled. And so the major problem that I see with this, again, is that if you guys don't take charge of this, and I don't even want to say take charge of the narrative, because I don't want a narrative. I just want the truth. Okay. But if you guys don't take charge of making sure that the truth is released in an organized manner that people can understand, you instead run the risk of things like this happening. Guess what clip went viral earlier today? One of the accusers, one of the Epstein victims, one of the people who was involved in that press conference came out, and wouldn't you look at the clip that surfaced of her name dropping Donald Trump and, connecting him to Jeffrey Epstein, and just imagine all of the Democrat takes after they watch this.
I was just one of the many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures. In those moments, I realized how powerless I was. If I spoke out, who would believe me? Who would protect me? Epstein himself was the most powerful leader of our country. Epstein surrounded himself, with the most powerful leaders of our country and the world. He abused not only me, but countless others, and everyone seemed to look away. The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually.
It was his biggest brag, actually, including our current president, Donald Trump. Let me take one guess politically where that woman lies in the tone and the manner in which she just brought President Trump's name up. No, like actual facts. Right? Just Epstein liked to brag that he was friends with Donald Trump. That was his biggest brag. That is what has gone viral. That is what you're going to see on CNN. That is what you're going to see on MSNBC. Epstein accuser, Epstein victim says that Donald Trump was Jeffrey Epstein's biggest brag. That's what you are going to watch on mainstream media. What you won't see is this little snippet that NBC News, I'm sure, was very embarrassed that they accidentally got, where you had an NBC News host who literally asked this group of accusers, did you see or hear about Donald Trump having anything to do with it? You'll never guess what their answer was.
Did anybody see or hear of the president himself doing anything inappropriate as it related to Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
In fact, no one has been able to tie Donald Trump to anything related to any of the disgusting, despicable acts that Jeffrey Epstein did with children. The only thing that anyone can say is exactly what that woman said. But the problem is that if the government, if this administration does not take charge of what is in whatever these files are and show it to the American people, you are going to have people like that woman, which God bless her. I can't imagine the trauma that she lives with if she was trafficked as a child on Epstein Island. Can't imagine. But the problem is that it's not the full picture. It's not the real facts. It's not evidence-based. It's just a woman with a terrible story to tell, with not all pieces of the puzzle. And she has lived trauma, and she wants to, you understand the implication and the problems that could arise from having a bunch of women who lived this for years, and they've been gaslit, and they've been treated like shit, and they've been ignored, and then now they're the ones that you want to trust to compile this information. That is just a disaster waiting to happen. We need the truth, and we need it from this administration. And by the way, I think those women would love nothing more than that. I don't think they want to be in the spotlight. I don't think they want to be compiling a list to then tell people and have to prove to them that this is real and this happened and no, this didn't happen, but this happened. I don't think they want to do that. I think that they do want this administration to be the ones to do it. So I am just going to encourage once again this administration. This will be a stain on your legacy if you guys don't get out ahead of it. And if this is in fact a Democrat hoax, as I keep hearing, please explain what you mean by that, because we all need to understand what the hell has happened all this time. and make sure that if there is a ring of pedophiles who run this country and other countries, that we know who the that is. Sorry, control room. They said that I cursed too much last show. It was a record amount of bleeps that they had to give, and I apologize for that. And also, I would just like to point out that Stephen is wearing 2 microphones today.
I also want to say that if you think that's the only thing, you should hear it at home.
That's why I'm like, I'm going
Not in front
soft.
of the kids, though. Not in front of the kids.
Not in front of the kids. Never in front of the kids. See, here's what I do. I wait until the kids go to sleep, and then I get it all out. It's like a waterfall of getting it all out because I haven't been able to around them. So I just would encourage the administration. I love Donald Trump, and I want nothing more than to look. I want the history books to reflect that he was the greatest president ever. And he has done so many great things, and I don't want it to get overshadowed by what is turning out to be such a scandal when you've got people like Anna Paulina Luna in Congress who are saying these things happened. There are women who were traumatized. They have names. And then you have an administration who's saying, what Epstein files? What are you talking about? We need answers, and we need those answers to make sense. That's all I'm saying. Let me know if you agree in the comments. We've got more to come. My friend Gary's coming back. But first, I want to thank our sponsor this segment, MD Hearing Aid. So, Stephen, do you sometimes wish that you couldn't hear me?
What are you talking about?
Did you already stop listening to me?
I love you too.
So my point is, maybe you're a spouse who's like, I actually don't mind that I sometimes can't hear my wife because she just with the blah, 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 blah. But if you're a spouse who actually enjoys hearing your family and you wish that you could hear them better, maybe you're getting to the age where your hearing is just going away. Maybe you went out to a gun range and didn't wear proper ear protection and now you pay for it. Not that I know anyone who has ever done that, Stephen. Anywho, if you're paying thousands of dollars for hearing aids that don't even work correctly, I would say it's time to stop doing that. I could not believe when I saw how much hearing aids cost. I'm like, thousands of dollars just so you can hear? That's crazy. Don't do that. Go to my friends over at MD Hearing. They make high quality, affordable hearing aids. They're comfortable. They're rechargeable. They're very easy to use. And people think like, I don't want to have this, weird stigma with the big giant hearing aid. No. They've got the technology. It just fits in your ear. No one's going to know that they're even in there. And right now you can get a pair of digital hearing aids for $297 from MD Hearing. They're doctor designed, built by an ENT surgeon, trusted by over 2 million people. They've got a 45-day risk-free trial, money-back guarantee. There is literally nothing to lose, okay? Try them out if you're struggling with your hearing and you've thought about pulling the trigger and you're like, that's too expensive. Now is your chance. This is your sign to go to shopmdhearing.com. Use promo code Sarah to get a pair of hearing aids for $297. They're going to throw in a free extra charging case. That's a $100 value just for listeners and viewers of this program. Shopmdhearing.com, promo code Sarah. You get a double dose of Gary Faust back in the house. Street Gonzo journalist. You can find him on Drinkin' Bros, along with on his Instagram, which I recommend that everyone follow while you can.
Yeah.
Because I don't know when he's going to just finally be.
Yeah, I just got suspended last week.
And you can see his eyeballs today.
Yeah, well, I took my my glasses off because you said that you were intimidated yesterday.
I did say that.
It's just because it's bright in here, and I'm used to just working the
I couldn't see
streets.
your eyes, so I was like just looking at like your sunglasses, and I'm like, I don't know if he's angry at me. I don't know if he's looking somewhere else and not interested at all. I have no idea.
I'm always in the pocket. Somebody in the comments of the video yesterday actually said, "Is this guy high? Is that why he's wearing glasses?" And I can assure you, I'm actually not.
Yeah, he wishes that he was.
Yeah, seriously. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. So I want to talk about your Puerto Rico stuff, which I know we didn't get a chance to really dive into, and I want to be able to, but I want to ask you first, am Am I being too hard on the administration with this Epstein files saga?
No, not at all. I mean, that's something that Trump campaigned on, and now all of a sudden he's doing a 180.
Yeah, it's just
really weird.
It is weird, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that there's a respectable reason why he's doing that, but like I'd like more information as to why that is.
I am having a hard time making up my mind as to why this would happen, because it's not doing him any favors.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It doesn't seem like a smart political chess move.
Right.
But the good thing about this is that no matter what happens, it is still putting the spotlight on the fact that this upper echelon cabal of people exist that are operating a pedophile ring and using it to blackmail people.
It sure feels that way. It sure feels that way, Gary.
Oh, dude, part of me wonders if he's like saying it's not a real thing on purpose to pour even more gas on the fire, because it's so ridiculous for him to say that after he campaigned on it.
Yeah.
That it's almost like he's saying, "Oh, there's no way that this exists. It's a hoax." It's insane. That's an insane thing to say.
Yeah.
But that seems kind of far-fetched to think that that's possible. I feel like a crazy person even saying that.
I know, but I don't. It's like I just need for everything to make sense.
Did you see the I think it was NBC, the town hall, where they were saying, was Trump?
Yeah, I played it. To the accusers, and they were like, "Nope,
yeah,
never heard about him doing anything improper. Nope."
It's so bizarre, but like I said, I think the good thing is that it's exposing the fact that some people that have a lot of power, immense power, and people that really make world decisions are, at least the public now knows that this exists and that these people are out there and they're sick in the head. Speaking of which, I sent your producer a video before the show that got me suspended from Instagram.
Okay, yeah.
Can we play that?
It's a video I wish that I hadn't seen.
I would love to.
Could you please explain to everyone what?
So this is a homeless pervert taking a shit on the Bedichek Middle School fence that is down the street from my house in Austin, Texas. This is in broad daylight at a major intersection, and there is a car wash, an abandoned car wash nearby. There's a McDonald's across the street. There's multiple gas stations. There's woods behind him. There's plenty of places where this homeless man could defecate if he absolutely could not hold it in.
Right.
But I will say this
because you've had that moment, Gary.
I've shit my pants a lot, Sarah. And even in my worst moments, I would never, ever, ever defecate on a school. You don't disrespect schools like that. And not kids, especially. Right. I mean,
was it actually on? It was on the fence.
Yeah.
It was on the fence.
And he wiped once and then threw the paper.
Yeah, I didn't even see any wiping.
Dude, little kids walk home.
Yeah.
Down that street.
Right.
They're walking home past human feces. And I posted this video and people started defending this guy.
You're kidding.
A lot of people, actually. I mean,
in what way do you defend someone taking a dump on a fence of a school where children roam?
Well, there's two qualifications, I think, that you have to have. The boxes you have to check in order to defend that.
He's homeless, so it's not his fault?
No, I mean, the people defending it.
Oh, right.
They're either perverts or liberal white women.
Yeah, which means they're mentally ill. Yeah.
That's what it was. The entirety of people defending this behavior were people either that at least appeared to me to be kind of perverts, or they were just.
Yeah, because I don't understand how you could be okay with that, but maybe as important is that Instagram as a company decided to retaliate against you for posting this and going, my words, not yours. I'm characterizing your reaction as just like, what the hell? How is this okay? And Instagram's like, screw you. You don't call this guy out.
So this is why I kind of feel like it's connected to the Epstein thing, because people that are running our social media platforms, which more or less at this point in time it's the town square, they're censoring things like this. Mm-hmm. So think about it this way, Sarah. A tech giant has censored an American journalist from exposing a felony level sex crime against a child, saying that I was harassing and bullying this man, this pervert. And to anybody that thinks, well, maybe he really was just a homeless guy and it was just a weird situation. I am a good journalist. I did my due diligence. I went back to that spot where he was, and I found some homeless people, and I said, hey, look, tell me everything you know about this guy. I'll give you some money. And they told me that he lives around there in the woods around there, and that he's basically like a pervert.
Really?
Yeah, it pisses me off even talking about it.
And he had other places that he right there that he could have taken a dump at.
A litany of places.
Yeah,
and this is the other thing. People were saying, well, why wouldn't you call the cops and have the police deal with it? Dude, this is Austin. I live in Austin. The police their hands are tied to a degree. They're arresting people and they're released all the time. Even for bigger crimes than, well, I think this is a pretty big crime, but people are getting arrested for grand larceny and robbery, and they're getting released, same week. There's stuff all over Twitter about the homeless issue in Austin. This is actually what I started my career on, was interviewing homeless people. Because I almost got stabbed at a gas station stopping this woman from being attacked, basically, and this guy tried to stab me, and I thought, well,
led you down a rabbit hole.
I want to figure out what's going on. What's wrong with these people? Because I'm a human being. I don't think we should just be throwing these homeless people in a wood chipper somewhere. Maybe that guy because he's a pervert.
But I like that you just said that because that's, I think that's the overall point, is that we're not trying to demonize homeless people, but there's a real problem in our society if we have a cabal of pedophiles who are running countries and making high-level decisions, and we have social media companies who are trying to demonize you for showing that there's a dude that's like shitting where children play in broad daylight, and somehow the problem is you. Like that's wild.
I've always been the problem my entire life. But you bring up this cabal of pedophiles, right? That is completely exists. Yeah. And we all recognize this now, and with the Jeffrey Epstein situation. And then we wonder, why are these tech companies censoring stuff like this? Like, just in general. It's almost like they're trying to normalize it in a certain way. And I think it's because they're all, what kind of person protects a monster?
Right.
A monster themselves, probably. That's what they are.
Yeah.
And they're all in the pockets of different government officials and corporations that, I don't know. It's like depressing to start thinking about it too deeply.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to Gary about this before the show, and he blackpilled me, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go jump off a bridge now. I'll talk to you later. So I get it. It's and it's not the first time that I have seen a social media company covering for something like that, something like what you're talking about. Instagram specifically has a very long and sordid history of trying to cover for people who are trying to traffic children or women on their platform. And they're constantly, there have been articles that have been written about it. So that would not be the first time. And it's like, where are we at as a society if this is that's just a thing?
Our own government that is
allow.
Tasked with protecting us is protecting these corporations that are protecting pedophiles.
Yeah.
That guy's a pedophile.
Yeah.
That guy shitting on the fence he's a pervert, and what are we doing here?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. All right, then. So let's go ahead. Then we're going to totally switch gears here, and I'll think about not jumping off a bridge, and we're going to take a break, and then I want to talk about your Puerto Rico trip and your documentary, and then I'll want to jump off a bridge again, I think, once I hear about that.
That'll be
Gary
good.
Just comes with a bunch of great stories. Thanks a lot, Gary. By the way, before we go to break, I want to remind you guys, if you haven't yet subscribed to Blaze TV, go subscribe, blazetv.com/Sarah. If you use promo code Sarah, you'll get $20 off of your annual subscription. If you're going to Starbucks and wasting money on coffee, this is like cheaper than if you do that like once a week. So blazetv.com/Sarah, use promo code Sarah for some savings. We'll be right back. So, Gary, Puerto Rico, I said this yesterday, I'll just touch on it very briefly. I had no idea that Puerto Rico was having the power issues that they're having until I talked to you about the documentary that you're working on. You don't read it in the mainstream media. It's not something that I see as I'm scrolling any of these, terrible social media platforms that are turning all of our brains into goo. I just haven't heard of it at all. But you're doing this documentary, and I want to talk to you about it. But I want to first play one of these clips here that we have. So you went there and you met with all sorts of people. One of these families, I guess, hasn't had power for like 8 years reliably. And I want to play some of that exchange.
Here in Puerto Rico with Rudy, we're at his house. He's got 3 kids and a wife living here. And I want to show you guys what the current state of the Puerto Rican power grid is. You haven't had electricity for 8 years. Correct. FEMA's given you nothing and local government hasn't helped you out. So he's had to fill in cinder blocks in his windows, board his windows up. There's flood damage all over the roof. There used to be a wall right here. This has been knocked out. This is filled in. He had to get all new appliances because power surges were blowing out the appliances. One of your TVs exploded and melted. Entire house, the only reason there is any electricity whatsoever, it's Dixie chained to his neighbors. And then this is where you and your wife are. There's no AC in here, obviously, so there's fans in every single room in the house. And I also want to point out that the reason he was denied FEMA money was because he's a veteran. That's how we treat veterans in this country. Ironically, the only place in the entire house that's not flooding is the bathroom, but he had to fix this hole in this wall because the earthquake put a big crack in it. Is there anything else I'm missing right now?
Right where the cameraman is standing, it actually cascades water here whenever it rains.
Your kids were like playing, right?
Correct. Yeah, they would actually pour soap on it and just keep sliding.
Do a slip and slide
until they would get scratched here.
Watch your foot. All the guardrails for the staircase have been blown away. This is the upstairs of the house. The entire roof, where there's supposed to be a roof, it's rebar. There's rebar everywhere. I think in here there was a leak.
Correct.
Yeah, there's a leak in here that can't be fixed. There should be funds available, but it's been 8 years, none of them have been released. And not only that, but there's been no help at all.
No.
So this is what people are living like in Puerto Rico.
No idea. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a lot, huh?
Yeah.
And that's all we could fit in that video.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because now maybe I've missed it. I'm not saying that she hasn't said anything, but I heard AOC years ago complaining about Donald Trump screwed up their water situation, which didn't actually happen. And I heard about a grandmother that AOC had that was in Puerto Rico that she was very concerned about. And you would think that she would show this same level of concern about the power there. And I haven't heard any of them saying anything. It's just very strange.
I don't know if they've said anything or not.
I haven't.
Because this isn't really in the news, unfortunately.
That's what I'm saying is like, but you should want to put it in the news.
Yeah.
If you have if I had a relative that lived there and I knew all this time that this was happening, I would want it. Like I would make it be in the news because I would talk about it.
Think about this. The power situation there got remarkably worse after Hurricane Maria, which was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't gotten much help, even though Biden and Trump both have sent FEMA funds. But they haven't been able to access a lot of that money because PREPA, the Puerto Rican Electric Power Authority, that's the power company there for all intents and purposes, has been bankrupt since July. It is so much talking about this. They've been bankrupt since July 2017. They were bankrupt before the hurricane even hit. So when you're going through bankruptcy proceedings, it's difficult to access funds.
Mm-hmm.
And the people there they're hung out to dry. And it's pretty brutal.
I mean, billions of dollars to Ukraine for a war that doesn't involve us.
Yeah.
Right? All of this foreign aid that we're sending all of these places, our money, our tax dollars. And I said this after Hurricane Helene. It's like, this is what would, like, I would actually feel good about my tax dollars going to something like this, right? About my tax dollars going to clean up North Carolina, about my tax dollars going to make sure that people who were living in United States territory, who were supposed to be treated like United States, like men and women, actually have power. I would actually feel good. That is one of the few things that I would feel good about my tax dollars going to.
I don't know if you know this, but Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens.
Right. Well, right. That's what I'm saying. Like but I'm saying we don't. We don't treat them like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's to your point.
Right.
This is something where our aid money should be going to.
Yeah.
But we're sending money to Israel and Ukraine and all these other places that, quite frankly, are so far removed from America that I don't even see what the point is anymore. What's the point of having a territory or even being the United States if we're not even helping the other states?
Right.
Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to be super downbeat about it, but it's just starting to seem like we're so fractured that what's the point in paying our taxes if they're not going to us?
Right.
That's beside the point. So the thing with Puerto Rico that I want to explain to people is how this happened, basically, which is PREPA goes into bankruptcy in July 2017. This is 8 years ago. And then Hurricane Maria hits. There was another hurricane between now and then that was pretty damaging. And there was also an earthquake, I believe. And that has done a lot to disrupt the electric grid out there. They have power surges all the time. They have blackouts all the time. And when I say power surges, I don't mean, the lights are flickering. I mean, the power surge is so bad that if you had a power surge here in this studio, all these lights would be fried, have to be tossed. Everything, computers, TVs, it melts them. It's in some cases, it blows them up. That was Rudy, the guy that we were walking through his house. One of his TVs exploded and melted off of his wall.
That's so crazy.
There's another reel that
Did it hurt anyone?
I don't think that hurt anybody in his house, but
thankfully.
I mean, I imagine stuff like that causes fires from time to time.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. And it's very expensive. And restaurant owners and small business owners are hit by this even harder than homeowners in some capacity because, there was a lady who owned a restaurant that she had a power surge that burned up. She lists everything off that she lost. Cash registers, air conditioning units, deep freezers, stuff like that. And we're talking upwards of $100,000 as a small business owner. You're screwed. It's a complete restart.
Yeah.
So basically, to explain why this problem hasn't been solved, the bankruptcy proceedings that have been ongoing for 8 years, I believe that they've been dragged out on purpose because the lawyers that are handling the proceedings want to keep making money. They charge by the hour. They charge about $1,000 an hour, and the people of Puerto Rico pay for that. And the people of Puerto Rico, on average, make $700-800 a week.
Right.
So this is a highway robbery, essentially, like what I was telling you yesterday.
Yeah.
And these lawyers are up from New York. They're Wall Street bankruptcy lawyers, and they don't care about these people at all. These people are, in some capacity, you could consider them evil because they're stealing from the most vulnerable parts of the U.S. population. Mm-hmm. And what tends to happen in this situation, I think, is that the energy transmission and distribution company and the energy generation companies take the brunt of the blame for this, like Luma. People are upset with Luma, Luma's a subcontracted company that's in charge of the transmission and distribution of power.
Okay.
And it's not their fault necessarily that this hasn't been fixed because they only have so much funding to use to fix it. And all this other money's tied up in the bankruptcy proceedings while these lawyers are dragging it out. And another company would be Genera PR, the power generation company.
Okay.
And they're under New Fortress, which is a private energy company out of New York, which is also where those lawyers are from.
Interesting.
I haven't completely connected the dots on all this, but I do know that the lawyers from New York are making a pretty penny off these bankruptcy proceedings. Trump fired everybody from the FOMB, which is the Financial Oversight Management Board. I think that's what that stands for. And he was right to do that because they obviously have not done a good job. It's been 8 years.
Right.
So I just want people to know about that.
Yeah.
That's that this is something that's not being fixed, so it seems on purpose.
How did you, I guess my last question on this is, how did you even know to go, like, how did you even know to go there?
Dude, I saw a Laura Loomer tweet about it.
Oh, I think this came up yesterday. That's right. And you're like, what?
Of all people, I was like, what? Because she's kind of crazy. But more power to her if she's doing the work. I looked into all this stuff she was talking about. It's all legit. And
you thought, I'm just going to go there and see what's happening on the ground. Yeah. By the way, just for reference, I looked up Puerto Rico weather today. It's September, and they have a heat advisory. And it's 92 degrees is the high. So it's like it's hot.
So
it's hot in Puerto Rico.
This is what's crazy about this. There's Puerto Rico is super humid, and they're hit by storms all the time, right? And the AC is going out in a lot of these places. The street lights, dude. When Joel and I were driving down the street, every other street light was out. We drove through a patch of highway, no lights.
Oh,
no street lights.
I didn't even think
and not only that, there's new lights being built next to the old lights because they're just like, we're not even going to take these down. It's out of control. There's housing units on the lights that have been taken out, and then they put a new one in, like a not even the same kind. Like you'll see an old street light from like the 90s.
Yeah.
And then a new one. And then one that's not working, and then one that has a solar panel. There is no it's not streamlined in any capacity whatsoever. There's no what's the term I'm looking for here?
I don't know.
It's like
your documentary, Gary.
No, well, I mean, I'm just saying there's no standard.
Yeah. And there's certainly no
over here.
efficiency. It's just like, just put another one. Okay, so it's coming out soon.
Next month or two. We're gonna try to get it put together as
on
quickly
Drinking
as
Bros
we can.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure that you should already be subscribed to Drinking Bros YouTube because they're like my besties, and they go on my show, I go on their show. They're good people, so make sure that you're subscribed to them anyway. But definitely make sure that you're subscribed so that you can check out this documentary when it comes out. And I've got one more segment. Do you want to just hang with me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. We've got let's talk about the Venezuelan gang members who the left are big fans of. That, speaking of besties, they are besties with all Venezuelan gang members. We'll get into that when we return. So did you hear that the United States military took out a drug running boat that was driven by the Tren de Aragua terrorists, cartel members? Our U.S. military there's the video, and it was just like, boom, sorry, not sorry. And these are people who are, of course, killing Americans with all of the drugs that they're bringing into this country. And so you would think that this would be a good moment for us, similar to Osama bin Laden, similar to, who was it, Soleimani, like similar to moments where we can go, this is objectively a good thing for this country, for our citizens, for everyone, potentially, globally. But then you think about the fact that the left is broken, and anything Donald Trump does, they hate. And so President Trump posted about it, and he was like, these were trending. I mean, I'm not going to read that whole thing. I wouldn't want to characterize President Trump. I wouldn't do him justice. But he did say thank you for your attention to this matter at the end of it. But he talks about how these are terrible people. They're drug traffickers. They're sex traffickers. Acts of violence and terror all across the United States and the Western Hemisphere. And we just struck their boat carrying narcotics. And for some reason, Gary, the left is very upset that we did this. Because they love the gang members. And so let's read some of their reactions here. Lethal force against a civilian vessel in international waters is a war crime if not in self-defense, which this video does not show. Only non-lethal actions like warning shots or disabling fire are allowed. Being suspected of carrying drugs doesn't carry a death sentence. Gary.
Huh.
Let's read another one. The mental gymnastics here.
I haven't seen any of these reactions yet.
Drug trafficking is a crime, not an act of war. Traffickers must be arrested, not summarily executed, which U.S. forces just illegally did. Again, Trump is going against civilized norms. We know he loves the death penalty, and now he's executing people based off the coast of Venezuela, based on suspicions. Imagine if every country started blowing up civilian ships in international waters. The end is the best part. Murderous bully. So now the Democrats, they want to keep them in the country. They don't want them deported. They don't want the ones who are driving boats filled with drugs that potentially will kill American citizens. They want them, invited in with cookies and milk.
Okay. 2 things come to my mind when I watch this. Number 1, I think that the defense against this on the part of the gangs, they're literally going to start kidnapping Americans and putting them on these drug vessels with them so we can't shoot them and blow them up. Number 1. Number 2, I think the reactions to this tie back to the Epstein thing. Like what I was talking to you about, I wonder if everything that Trump does, no matter what, some of these people hate it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Trump is doing this Epstein thing, handling it like the way he is,
to make them be like, we have to release the files.
And they're so diehard pro releasing the files that when the files come out and they implicate the people that are there that they like, that these lefty type people like, then what are they supposed to do? It's like checkmate. But that seems like such mental gymnastics that I don't know if that's even possible. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I just know these people are so broken that they are literally cheering on, advocating for sex traffickers, violent criminals, rapists, drug traffickers. I mean, the worst of the worst. And you've got, like the one of the little Krasenstein bros, why'd you have to kill him? Why couldn't the Coast Guard just board the boat leaving Venezuela? They could arrest him. Why'd they have to kill him? Why'd you have to kill him? Who cares, dude? They were drug traffickers. They're killing Americans. How about that? Why did they have to kill Lake and Riley? Why did they have to kill all of the people who overdosed on fentanyl? I don't know. Ask them that question. I'm okay with them being dead.
Yeah, where are these people's energy when Americans are killed?
That's what I'm saying.
What the hell?
I know. So
it's bizarre.
I know. We live in bizarre. These people are broken, and you know what?
In bizarro world.
We do,
sure.
But that's fine because if they keep it up, they'll never win another election again, and I'm okay with that. All right, Gary Faust. Make sure that you follow him on Instagram, and thank you, Gary.
Mm-hmm.